It occurs to me that this is a very asset-heavy industry,
Yeah.
and maintaining these assets, requires a workforce, requires time.
Yes.
How does the predictive maintenance? Is there even a concept of a predictive maintenance
Yeah,
system?
yeah. So, and I was talking about my PhD. This is what I did my PhD work on some years ago now. So, very early instances of putting sensors on, in that case, existing assets. So, in my PhD worked on level crossings, on railroad crossings, and on where there were barriers, and on point machines. So, switches where the trains change track. And I put sensors. I had some of these assets in the lab, and I instrumented them in the lab. But then I was lucky enough to get 8 sites around Britain, where as part of my PhD work, I did this live on the railway. It was the first time people had done this kind of work. Now most of that is quite common. It's still mainly, interestingly, retrofitted to existing systems rather than built in. In some instances, it's becoming more common only now to build those sensing systems in. But that's all driving through to, as you're saying, a predictive system for asset management. And railways do a lot of maintenance because there's a lot of assets. Some of the things I've said earlier, one of the motivations is just get rid of the asset altogether. That's the saves you maintaining it if you don't have it. That's one way of doing it. The other point is this sweet spot between doing maintenance so that the asset doesn't fail in service. So you want to do that. You don't want it to fail in service, but not doing too much maintenance that you're spending loads of money on maintenance and it becomes either disruptive to the traffic because you're doing maintenance or just too expensive to do that. So that's where we're doing the predictive maintenance work. And as I say, on certain assets, certainly in the UK, I know there's projects here in India in this space because I've actually contributed some of them. That sort of philosophy and thinking is becoming more prevalent. There's more to do in that space though.
So eventually we would like to move away from taking care of the train every week or every 7 days to really when it needs.
Yeah, what we want is that predictive. I think I'm going to fail next week. Can you come and maintain me, please? And as I said, during my PhD work, I had a live site and was doing that and was able to demonstrate that capability some time ago. And it's one of the challenges with technology in the rail sector. And again, it's something we are doing things about, but we need to do more about is that timeline of introducing technology takes quite a long time because we can do that technologically. One of the things I've learned over my career is true in railways. It's true in many sectors, but it's very true in railways. You need to change your safety standards. You need to change your training for people. You need to change how you supply this sort of equipment and how you power it and how you fix it safely and how when you renew the asset, you can still... So all of those things, that process piece around that also needs an awful lot of thinking about. It's just having the technology isn't good enough. You need to think about that whole viewpoint.